In a bid to overcome an aggressive fear of spiders, I may have gone too far. It seems to me that scary things are scary entirely because we've learned to regard them with fear. No human fear is universal. I had an idea on how to desensitize myself to spiders as a source of fear. I started with Skyrim VR at Kronvanger Cave. My thinking was to put myself through one fight after another with frostbite spiders, with the intention to focus on being indifferent to them. I would only allow myself to play in first-person view mode while using melee weapons and healing magic. Instead of focusing on fighting, I blocked as many attacks as I could in my best armor in order to make the fights last as long as possible. During this, I'd try to stop mentally resisting them. I'd let them attack me and try not to let the sight of them get me worked up. I would argue myself down against the idea that they're scary, rationalizing that it's just my own mind creating this image of them, and that they're factually just lines of code. They were no different than a meme JPEG or music MP3, and should be regarded in the same way. Eventually it worked. The spiders just didn't seem like a big deal after enough of this. I mixed it up every time it got too easy like this, by trying the same thing with spiders in different games, then taking it even further by modding them to look more real. Eventually I decided to take things a few steps further and get myself a pet spider. I decided to go all in and get myself a giant huntsman. Their visage is absolute nightmare fuel, but in truth, they're self-destructively friendly. She arrived being about the size of a penny, but grew fast. I made it a point to hold her every day for at least an hour. In hindsight, the idea that you're never more than 10 feet from a spider seems absolutely hilarious after getting over the fear of them. It's when I reached the point that I genuinely preferred their company to that of other people that I began to notice them. However mythical the old idea may be, the reality of how often they evade our sight or simply go unnoticed is still rather shocking. The first time I realized that there was something more to understand was when I saw a redback shoot into my friend's mouth mid-speech, and he just kept talking. The fact that he didn't notice was one thing, but our other friends had no reaction whatsoever. Sure, they still see some spiders, but the majority of the time they'll stare straight at one and simply not notice. They never catch the large ones that charge through the city streets, moving faster than the vehicles they were made to be used by. Even if I point directly at it, they somehow never see the one that always sits towering over our city skyline.